Welcome back. President George W. Bush had a word for it back in 2006, that word, thumping. That's exactly what the Democrats got last night, not just in losing control of the Senate, but in the House of Representatives, where the GOP won its largest majority since the Second World War. Joining us now, a member of that majority, the Florida Congressman-elect Carlos Curbelo, a Miami-Dade School Board member. Congressman-elect, thanks very much for joining us. Congratulations to you. What do you believe the main message your voters were sending by electing you to come here to Washington?
Thanks, Wolf. People in this district are clearly frustrated at the economic recovery, which hasn't benefited everyone, just the people at the top. And they're frustrated with Washington. They want to send people to Washington, D.C. that are willing to reach across the aisle and get things done. So that's what I found as I met with voters throughout the last few months. People just very frustrated, pessimistic about the country, and I hope we can do some things for them in Washington.
So your district goes from South Miami-Dade all the way down to the Keys. It's a pretty large area. Do they want comprehensive immigration reform, including a pathway to citizenship for many millions of those illegal immigrants who are here in the United States right now?
Yeah, this is a 60% Hispanic district, Wolf, so obviously immigration is an important issue, not more important than the economy. Most of the Hispanic voters that we've encountered and in all the polling we saw, the #1 issue was the economy, but immigration is important. And people do think that those that have been working in this country, contributing to our economy, doing a lot of the jobs that many Americans would not want to do, should at least be given the opportunity to stay here and continue working here and raising their families here and providing a good education for their children. So I'm certainly a supporter of comprehensive immigration reform, and that includes obviously border security and, yes, a path to at least legalization for the undocumented.
You're going to have a lot of work to do to convince some of your fellow Republicans in Congress who are adamantly opposed. It sounds like you're ready to work, though, with, with the president on this.
I'm willing to go to bat for this issue. And look, I've been really fair on the campaign trail. I think the President of the United States has not kept his promises to the Hispanic community. I haven't really seen him being willing to invest political capital into getting immigration reform done. And I've also criticized some Republicans in the House that have refused to even allow the House to address this issue. I'm going to work hard within my conference, especially within my class, the newly elected members of Congress, to make sure we build a strong coalition for immigration reform. And remember, immigration isn't just about immigration policy. It's also an economic issue. Comprehensive immigration reform, if we get it right, will help grow our economy.
So at least on this issue, and I suppose on other issues as well, you're willing to cross party lines.
Yeah, and that's what the people in my district want. Well, look, this is a swing seat. There's a lot of independents in this district, and people want to send leaders to Washington that are willing to work across the aisle to get things done. And that doesn't mean we give up our principles, but it means we follow the Reagan model. Sit at the table, and we can get most of what we want. Let's take it.
You know, a lot of your fellow Republicans want to repeal Obamacare. Where do you stand on that?
Look, I think the law is deeply flawed. I think we have to get rid of harmful provisions like the 30-hour work week that are hurting so many low-income families in communities like ours, so many immigrant families, people that want to work not 30 hours but 40, 50, 60, 70 hours, as many as they can work to get ahead and to provide a good education for their kids. We need to get rid of that provision. The employer mandate is also doing a lot of harm, costing people their jobs. So at the very least, I hope the president, I think I heard that today, is willing to compromise on this law so we can fix it, because it's certainly deeply flawed.
But you don't want to completely repeal all aspects of it, right?
Look, there's some good aspects to it. The objective of allowing access to the health care market to those with pre-existing conditions, of course we have to do that. Treating women fairly with regards to the health care system, I support that. The problem is that in order to achieve that goal, the Democrats rammed this law down the throats of the American people. The law in many ways has wreaked havoc across our economy. It's hurt the quality of care. It's increased health care costs for a lot of people. So we definitely need an overhaul of this law. I don't think the president's going to sign a repeal law, and we shouldn't pretend that the health care system was perfect before Obamacare. So there's some things we can keep here, but we certainly need to make some big changes.
Congressman-elect, thanks very much for joining us. Good luck here in Washington, and once again, congratulations.
Thank you, Wolf. Thanks for having me.
Up next, January.